Agriculture today has become too big and industrialized. There's not enough people on the land. We have substituted chemicals and massive machinery for labor, and we've come up with practices that are frankly dangerous for people, for our health, for the health of the planet. I'm Neil Ritchie. I'm the Senior Advisor to Main Street Project. Main Street Project started out trying to develop the skills and knowledge of immigrant Latinos in rural communities to give them an opportunity to have a better job. We did this for several years, and we came to understand that no matter how much training or skills were developed, that industry was built on low-wage workers, and it wasn't going to change their circumstance. You know, our planet's in some trouble, ecologically speaking, the kind of trouble that only some pretty significant changes in our behaviors going to respond to. Thinking about other ways agriculture could be organized. We developed a new model for how to combine smaller scale poultry production with perennial agriculture.
We're actually planting quite a bit more this year than last year, right?
Yeah, almost about 100 pounds more.
On this farm, we're establishing our perennials right now, so that would be our hazelnuts, which is a native species here, along with elderberries. We're looking at hazelnuts and elderberries here in the Midwest as being very profitable crops in the coming years. My name is Julie Ristow, and I'm the Executive Director of Main Street Project. Where we are right now on the farm is at the front south, 20 acres that we consider to be our community access. Folks come up here and visit and take tours, and what they're going to see is a beautiful community pond. They're going to see a beautiful orchard and sort of a microcosm of all the crops that we have out here, like the perennials that we are planting.
These are the hybrid hazelnuts that have been bred for growing in the upper Midwest. They're going to look more like a shrub than a tree, but they're resistant to eastern filbert blight, and they can survive the much harsher winters that we get in the upper Midwest.
How many hazelnuts do we have out here now in the field?
I think there's between 10 and 15,000 that we ultimately planted across the farm.
Areas for annual production that's complementary with those hazelnuts includes things like garlic.
Garlic is a good crop for community engagement because it has a very clear and high return on its initial investment. I am Wyatt Parks, and I am one of the farm managers here at Main Street Project. Every bulb of garlic has 3 to 4 or 5 or 6 cloves, and each one of those that you plant out is going to turn back into a whole new bulb. So if you plant 300 pounds of seed, you're going to get back 900 pounds or something. And it's also a very good crop to teach people how to be good farmers with, because it is such a simple thing. You're just planting this clove, and they can see that whole life cycle. Right there, that's one of the cloves that's been planted. These are nice looking cloves for the soft neck variety. They've got a good size to them, not too big, not too small.
So this year we experimented with the land share program. Some of our Latino community actually received some of that seed to start their own plots.
We gave them 10 pounds each for coming out and helping. They decided that they wanted to take half of what we were giving them as just food garlic, and then the other half they wanted to replant and reinvest. The community this year engaged in us growing different pepper varieties, some tomato varieties. We also have a stand of a Guatemalan corn that's still standing. So we've tried to engage them with crops that they value in their own homes.
We were able to sell most everything that we produced last year, right?
Yeah, we're out. We have nothing left.
The farm is 120 acres. The thing that's really unique about this is that we're a collaboration. We acquired the farm by actually building a relationship with an investor, and the Wasner family, who is the family we purchased from, still lives on the farm site.
We're Craig and Linda Wasner from Northfield, Minnesota, and we've lived on this farm since 1979. We farmed it for 15 years, and now we're done.
About 3 years ago, we were approached to rent the land. That didn't seem to be the right thing to do. We knew that we needed to make a transition. We knew that we needed to do something different with this farm.
You know what they told us that really appealed to us was no chemicals, no fertilizers, manage the natural flow of the water.
And restore the soil.
Oh,
and then they
pesticides.
mentioned chickens, which we
chickens.
love chickens.
Poultry is the key for us at the scale that we're doing it. Our model involves having a fixed facility or a chicken coop inside a 1.5 acre fenced-in paddock area. So we plant perennials in the paddock area, the hazelnut bushes, the elderberries, as well as perennial kind of ground cover. Chickens love hazelnuts. They hang out underneath of them. They provide protection from predators, and they provide shade in the heat of summer. Everything that comes out of manure goes straight into the perennials so that they grow like mad. They sink deep roots, so there's no waste. They help with the soil health, and we'll do a lot to start to back off our environmental impact. The birds are healthy. We don't have to use antibiotics. They are happy to be outside. They take 6 or 7 weeks to grow, so we can raise roughly 1,500 birds on 1.5 acres of land 3 times a year in Minnesota. Agriculture and poultry was something that was familiar to people who had grown up with it and wherever their home country was.
La mayor parte de mi conocimiento era convencional.
Most of my knowledge was conventional, but now I use all that knowledge to delve deeper into this type of system that is organic, holistic, and regenerative.
Todo esto lo podemos
All of this can go into our training for future producers.
para los futuros productores.
So poultry works with Latino families. Poultry works with people who have limited amount of time.
It's a low labor kind of model. Maybe an hour at the beginning of the day and another hour at the end of the day. People can keep their jobs, but they can actually add livelihood to their lives and make some money.
At Main Street Project, we're looking at a 3-legged stool, which you can think of the 3 legs as economy, community, and ecology. With the economy, Main Street is doing an amazing job at regenerative economics and looking at alternative ways to access land. With the social, we're looking at different aspects of communities, also the existing farming community, how we fit in together. And so with the ecology is where we see a lot of these regenerative agriculture practices on the land and harnessing the power of the water to allow itself to clean and improve natural systems like wetlands that will help regulate extreme storms that we're having more with this climate instability.
Whenever I come out here, I feel good. My late wife, Najwa, and I decided to get involved with Main Street Project because we were interested in restoring health to the land and community engagement that would support the diverse backgrounds of people in this community. My hope for the future is people around the community to recognize that this is a place that they can feel comfortable and reap the harvest of the land.
Main Street is a really good example and a learning opportunity of how we might be able to transition agriculture from the industrial model that is prevalent today to something that's much more sustainable.
Looking into the future, we hope to see more people on the land, our rural communities returning to vibrancy and vitality.
As people come in and learn about this and see it, we're hoping that it gradually changes the way that we look at farming.
We think we're finding ways that you can bring balance back and then also bring it to a scale where it can sustain families again.